Imagine arriving at the airport for the trip you've been planning for months. Your suitcase is packed, your passport is ready, your hotel is booked, your flight is on time. Everything seems perfect, but within the next 5 minutes, your entire trip could be over before it even begins. Not because of bad weather, not because of a canceled flight, not because of a technical problem, but because of one simple mistake that thousands of travelers make every single year. A mistake so common that airport staff see it happen almost every day. And the worst part? Most passengers don't realize they've made it until it's already too late. Today, we're revealing the airport mistake that ruins thousands of trips every year, and how to make sure it never happens to you. Welcome to Behind the Gates Aviation. If you're fascinated by airport secrets, airline operations, and travel tips that can save you time, money, and stress, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications, because today's lesson could save your next vacation. Picture this. A passenger arrives at the check-in counter smiling and excited. The agent asks for their passport. The traveler hands it over. The agent starts typing. A few seconds later, the smile disappears. Something is wrong. The passenger becomes nervous. More typing. A supervisor is called.
I'm sorry, but you cannot travel today.
Just like that, months of planning collapse. Flights are missed, hotels are wasted, dream vacations disappear. But what happened? The biggest airport mistake isn't arriving late. It isn't forgetting your luggage. It isn't even booking the wrong flight. The mistake is failing to check travel document requirements before departure. Many travelers assume that if they have a passport, they're ready to fly. But international travel is far more complicated. Some countries require visas. Others require transit visas. Some require proof of onward travel. Others require a certain number of blank passport pages. And many countries require your passport to remain valid for months beyond your arrival date. Passengers often discover these requirements only when they're standing at the airport, and by then, it's usually too late. Many travelers blame the airline when they're denied boarding. But here's what most people don't know. Airlines are legally responsible for checking that passengers meet entry requirements. If an airline transports a traveler who lacks the proper documents, authorities can issue heavy fines. The airline may even be required to fly the passenger back at its own expense. That's why airline staff carefully verify travel documents before departure. They're not trying to ruin anyone's trip. They're trying to prevent an even bigger problem after arrival. And unfortunately, they cannot make exceptions. Even if your vacation is non-refundable, even if your family is already waiting for you, the rules remain the same. Document problems aren't the only mistakes. Airport staff regularly see travelers who arrive at the wrong airport, show up after check-in closes, forget required visas, travel with damaged passports, book flights under names that don't match their documents, or fail to meet destination-specific requirements. Each of these mistakes can instantly destroy a trip, and they happen far more often than most people realize. Some travelers spend thousands of dollars only to discover a simple issue that could have been fixed weeks earlier. Experienced travelers rarely leave these things to chance. Before every international trip, they verify passport validity, visa requirements, transit requirements, entry regulations, airline policies, and destination-specific rules. They double-check everything, then they check again. Because they understand that one small detail can determine whether they board the aircraft or watch it leave without them. The most successful travelers aren't necessarily the smartest. They're simply the most prepared. The next time you book a flight, remember this. The biggest threat to your trip may not be turbulence. It may not be weather. It may not even be the airline. It could be a simple document issue hiding in plain sight. And that's exactly why thousands of trips are ruined every year. Not because travelers are careless, but because they assume everything is fine without checking. Have you ever experienced an airport mistake that almost ruined your trip? Tell us your story in the comments below. And if you enjoy aviation secrets, airport operations, and travel tips that can save your next journey, subscribe to Behind the Gates Aviation. Because behind every airport gate, there's a story most passengers never hear. See you next time. Behind the Gates.